and get started here. People joined late. I made this, I have a PowerPoint to share. And so I didn't really create a waiting room. I wanted people just to be able to pop in when they're ready so that I don't have to miss people in the waiting room. But we're going to go ahead and get started. I'm Trisha. And so, as you guys know, and I am a registered nurse. I'm also a holistic weight loss coach. And I really specialize in nervous system healing and
Mm.
somatic healing. So I work with people not just in the weight loss arena, but also, people that are just trying to create change in any aspect of their life, personal growth, relationships, business goals, whatever they're working toward. A lot of times my clients come to me, they just feel really stuck and they're like, I don't know how to move beyond this. Things are not changing. They want to create change in their life, right? And so the core of my work is really nervous system based. And so we're going to get into why that is so important. So I'm going to share my screen and bear with me here. Let's get the slide started. Oops, that is not what I wanted to do. I don't want to add to my slides. Um, let's see. Why am I not? Hold, please. Let's see. Oh, here we go.
If it's under view, okay.
There we go. I was like, they moved it on me. Can you guys see this okay?
Yes.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
All right, so let me just grab one more thing here. Nope, that's okay. We won't deal with that. Okay. All right, so let's get started. This is called regulate first. So why your nervous system must feel safe before your body releases the weight. Now, I should let you guys know, my plan here is to not keep you guys on here for a long period of time. I'm planning on, this being about a 30-minute presentation, maybe a little bit less. This is open forum, right? I'm very flexible. If you have questions, you might want to physically raise your hand because I have a new MacBook and I'm still adjusting to it. And I don't even see where like raising hands is on this at all. So feel free to interrupt. I will allow time at the end also for questions. So, just yeah, I'm excited to get started. So if you feel like you have been eating well, right? You've been doing the exercising and feeling like you're doing everything that you should be doing, right? You feel like I'm doing all the things, you're checking all the boxes, right? And yet you still kind of feel stuck. And so I just want you to know that you're not alone. And so again, about me, I'm Trisha. You can see I've got quite a bit of background in this. I've been doing this for about 8 years. I am actually opening up a wellness center right here in Waconia this June, the Springs Wellness Center. So I really like to help focus on helping people understand the connection between their nervous system, stress physiology, and how to attain that sustainable weight loss. The other thing, like I said, is I do work with a variety of people. When I get into working with, or talking about weight loss, I'm not just a weight loss coach. I have a number of years of experience working in weight loss, and I've also worked with a lot of clients in weight loss. My nurse job, quote, is actually working with clients on weight loss. But so quite an extensive background, but it isn't like I said, the only thing that I focus on with clients. In fact, a lot of times people will come to me with wanting to talk about weight loss, but what we uncover is that the issues are much deeper, right? There's some emotional things that need to be dealt with. There's underlying conditions or stories or programming that have been created about their body and their ability to be able to even shed weight. So again, while this workshop focuses on weight loss, the deeper foundation of the work is the nervous system, like I said before, because the nervous system just doesn't just impact metabolism, it actually shapes our habits, our stress response, and how we relate to others. So again, I've supported clients in not only creating that sustainable weight loss, but also in shifting long-standing patterns, because a lot of times these are patterns that we create throughout our life, either through conditioning or through stories that we
Mhm.
tell ourselves, like this is impossible for me, or, my sister tried to lose weight and she couldn't do it, so now I can't, or, there's just different things that we create in our mind that really limit us. And so my job is to help move you through that limitation that you have created so that you can get out on the other side. And so, again, this really comes down to safety, creating that safety in the body so that when you feel safe and you feel regulated, that this change becomes more natural and more sustainable. So, question, how many of you feel like you've tried so many things, right? And you still feel a little bit stuck? It's very common. Yes, very common. Maybe you procrastinate, right? You know the things that you should do, and yet you find yourself like, oh, I'll start tomorrow, or you just kind of get into this overwhelm. Like one of the clients that I'm working with right
Sure.
now is like, that's her big word is I'm overwhelmed. Like I don't even know where to start. It's too much. I need to break it down into smaller pieces, because when you feel overwhelmed, you will tend to procrastinate. It's also a system, or I'm sorry, a phase of the nervous system, which is like you get into this freeze mode. So there's four states that the nervous system can go into, and that's that fight or flight. There's fawn. There's freeze. And so when you get into the freeze, it's where you just shut down. You're just like, nope, can't do it. Shut down. Don't do anything. The other side of that is really self-sabotage, where things are going really well and then somehow subconsciously, because a lot of times we are operating out of our subconscious mind. In fact, about 80% of the time, if not 90%, it's a very large percentage of our habits and behaviors come from the subconscious mind. And so there needs to be this awareness. So the self-sabotage is coming from the subconscious mind. It's coming from um, again, that programming and that conditioning of how we were raised or things that we learned from other people. And so we just believe them as fact when really it's just perception or a story that we have created in our mind. Now, remember, I said I would try to keep this at 30 minutes. I love to talk about this stuff, so I'll try to be really mindful of time, but I feel like I could just go on for days and days and days. So I just want you to guys to know that you are not failing. So a lot of really high functioning people, they're doing it right, right? But something still feels off. And so the real question becomes is what if your body is not actually resisting change? And what if it's actually protecting you? And so have you thought about that? I mean, think about that for a minute, because, you know, a lot of times we think that, oh, I'm just failing. I'm not doing this right. My body is resisting. But again, we're going to get into the role of the nervous system in all of this. Because a lot of advice, and I'm sure you guys have heard these things, right? Oh, exercise more, eat healthier, you just need more motivation or you need more discipline, right? You've heard all of those things. So most advice is going to really focus on that. But this work obviously goes much deeper, because you're really not going to get that far if you're following that traditional advice. I mean, yeah, you can push yourself and you can maybe attain that goal for a short period of time, but then you're going to find yourself right back
Mhm.
where you started, once the novelty wears off or whatever, because you haven't been able to create that deep, sustainable change within your nervous system to be able to expand your capacity to hold that change. And so that's what is the missing key, is that the nervous system is rarely part of the conversation, but it's actually the key piece. And so again, most of those approaches are going to focus on the food, the exercise, the willpower, or you just don't have enough willpower, or you might even tell yourself, I don't have enough willpower. I can't do it. Or, I was just really stressed out and so I, chose to eat instead of go exercise or whatever else that your body truly needed at that point. So I just did a workshop earlier today on the importance of hydration and how that actually affects the nervous system as well. And so when you are in a dehydrated state, your body perceives that as it's stress on the body because the body isn't able to function the way that it is meant to function. It slows down all the processes in the body, right? Our ability to repair our cells and replenish our cells, our ability to regulate and remove waste from our body. Like our kidneys and our liver are our main detox systems in the body. And when you are dehydrated, again, that gets very challenging for the body. And so it actually taxes the nervous system as well. So, so really, this is not the full picture. The food, the exercise, the willpower. It's how the body is responding internally, like what is going on inside. Because if the body doesn't feel safe, it's not going to prioritize that change. So again, you can try all the things on the outside. You can push yourself to exercise more. But again, exercise is super valuable. But when you're pushing yourself beyond the capacity of your body, that's actually going to bring on a release of more cortisol as well, because it's going to become inflammatory in the body if you're exercising too hard as well. So there's a lot of balancing that needs to go on. We don't want to do extremes. We really want to focus on creating small, sustainable changes because those are what lead up to the big results. So, your nervous system, let's talk about it. Your nervous system is constantly scanning for safety or threat. I mean, this is how your body is designed. This goes back to the stone ages of fight or flight, right? Like the cavemen or whoever, literally had to run from animals. And so we don't have to run from animals, but we have what is perceived threats. Okay. Maybe something is going on at work and you're internalizing that as a threat, or there's an issue in a relationship that's being internalized as a threat. It's activating the nervous system. So basically anything that is activating your nervous system. Now I'll just go into a brief overview of the nervous system. There's two branches. We have our sympathetic nervous system, which is your fight or flight. That's what's going to protect you in a true emergency or a perceived emergency, right? And then we have our parasympathetic nervous system, which is our rest and digest and repair mode. And so if you are in this chronic activation of the nervous system, like you have a lot of stress in your life, or you haven't learned the tools of how to regulate your nervous system, what tends to happen is this cascade effect, okay? Your GI system is going to be disrupted because a lot of your feel-good hormones, all those types of things are in your gut. Gut health is linked to everything. And when the vagus nerve, which is the main nerve that's running through your body, is in this activation all the time, it's the nerve that literally feeds every organ in your body. And so if it's compromised, it's going to affect your GI tract. You're not going to be able to absorb your nutrients as well. Your digestion is going to slow. You might have GI issues. Our gut health is also linked to our immune system, our mental health. Like there's just so many things that are affected just by your nervous system. So this actually happens automatically and not consciously. So it's really based on your stress levels. It's based on past experiences. So you can walk into work one day and somebody says something to you, and they might not even mean it in like a threatening or demeaning way, but yet subconsciously you're perceiving it as like a sort of an attack, right? And so, but really what it is a past experience that is coming through in the present moment with this new person. And so that's a whole nother subject that I could talk about, but it's also related to lifestyle patterns, our sleep, nutrition, and environment. So again, once that stress level has been activated, it's going to release the hormone cortisol. Now, cortisol, again, not a terrible thing. It's designed to protect you, to help you in true states of emergency. Now, if you're in this chronic activation and cortisol is being released on the regular, right? What happens is when cortisol is released, the body actually shuts down and goes into fat storage mode. And so it becomes a lot harder to release the weight if there's, again, chronic stress. And again, this could be lifestyle patterns. It could also be, emotional, um, emotional things that haven't been processed or dealt with can be held in the body and can actually um, hold on to weight as well. That's why I'm saying there's just so many different levels of this type of work. But really, some examples are that chronic busyness, the overthinking, the constant pressure to perform right at work or in a relationship, under eating. Now, that is something that a lot of people don't think about either, especially, I don't know, in this world of the GLP-1s, right? Like people are taking this medication to control their appetite and they're not eating and then that causes a whole nother host of issues. The body actually goes into, again, more holding on to the weight if you're under eating. So it's really about finding that balance and finding out what your basal metabolic rate is, like what's the minimum amount of calories that you need in a day just for your body to perform and function every day. Because if you're getting way under that, you're going to have brain fog, you're going to be so fatigued, you're going to lose muscle mass instead of body fat. And so it changes the whole composition of your body. Again, that emotional stress, or even, like I said earlier, overtraining. Like sometimes if you're overtraining, that really is really taxing on the body as well. So again, even though life can look fine on the outside, the body can still perceive stress on the inside. So inside, outside you might come across as, hey, I got all my stuff together, yada, yada, yada. But on the inside, you feel like you're just like crawling out of your skin, or you're just like, I don't know how to handle these emotions or how to handle this stress. And, it can become almost like, what's the word I want to use? When you are chronically stressed, it can almost feel normal, like it's your new normal, right? And that's why it can be a little bit harder for people to recognize that if it's normal for them. Now, when we go to try to create change around that, the body can get a little resistant because, again, our bodies are built on habits. And so whenever we're trying to change a habit, that's when the self-sabotage can try to kick in, because the body is like, whoa, 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 this is uncomfortable. I don't like what you're doing here. It's outside of my comfort zone. So even though whatever habit or whatever that is that you have created in your life where you know that you need to create that change, just know that there's going to be a little bit of resistance with that until your body adjusts to the new norm. Okay, so this is what expanding that capacity of the nervous system looks like, is that when you have the tools how to manage the nervous system, you're expanding the width of what you can create. So instead of like this amount, now you're able to create this, and you're able to step outside of that comfort zone. So again, when that body feels stress, the body shifts into that survival mode. And it's just how we're built. We can't fight our biological way that we are built, but we can manage how we're coping with it, and acquire these tools of how to lower that stress, how to lower the cortisol, because again, it's this cascade of effect is when you are, again, when you're chronically stressed, you're releasing that cortisol, your body goes into fat storage, you're not sleeping as well, now you're fatigued, now your GI system's upset, Now your other hormones are off, like your ghrelin and your leptin, your hormones that regulate your satiety and your fullness. I mean, it can even throw off, reproductive hormones like progesterone and estrogen and things like that. So this is where um, it's really crazy how physiologically, like how it's all intertwined. So the nervous system is really that control center for, again, the stress response, the hormones, the digestion, how your body stores and uses energy, and how it stores and releases fat. So it is constantly interpreting your environment and your internal state. It doesn't turn off. So that's why it's really important. And we're going to get into this a little bit late, or soon here in the slides of some different tools that we're going to get into here. So how we can start regulating that. So again, this is, I guess, kind of repeating, but cortisol increases, we conserve energy, therefore fat storage increases is what is physiologically happening. Therefore, you're going to feel more fatigued too, because it actually is taking your body a lot more work to be stressed out than to be calm. And so that's why when you are so stressed, you've had a stressful day, you come home and you are exhausted, right? I mean, I've felt that many times. And that's because my body or your body is going into conserving energy. Um, so the other thing, when the body is holding on to that weight, it's really that metabolic protection. So the hormones are going to shift. There's also some blood sugar instability. So we haven't touched on that yet, but blood sugars, when you are in, releasing that cortisol, it's actually going to throw off your blood sugars because when you are stressed, it actually increases your craving. So, as I mentioned earlier, you have two hunger and satiety hormones, right? Your ghrelin and your leptin. And these two hormones, when you are in an activation of cortisol, it's going to affect those hormones, which make you binge eat, have more cravings. You're going to be reaching for sugar. And then that's going to throw off the blood sugar. So when we are in that state is when we're typically reaching for things that we know we shouldn't grab, right? And that's again where that self-sabotage can come in. You'll be looking at like a bowl of berries, but then you see the cookies and you're like, I just need the cookies. And really, it's subconsciously, it's your mind being drawn toward the sugar, the higher sugar content, because you're looking for energy, um, because you're so fatigued from being stressed. And so a lot of times that's where the cravings of the sugar come in, is that, with the way that our society is, right? We're go, 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 do, 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 do. And then you've activated your nervous system because you haven't taken time to have a timeout or to just stop and breathe or take a break and come back to your center and come back into balance. That's when you tend to grab, or maybe it's salt for people, you're grabbing the chips or you're grabbing the sugar, and you're eating on the go, you're grabbing things that aren't particularly healthy like fast food because you don't have time and things like that, but what it's doing is actually just fueling more hormonal imbalance and more blood sugar instability. So signs of survival mode. You might feel wired, but you're still tired. So you might feel like you have energy, but you're so tired. You feel the stress. You have stubborn weight. Again, cortisol tends to store weight in the abdomen area. So for a lot of people, especially women, we're going to store weight in the belly. It's just where cortisol likes to sit. I'm not sure why, but um, that is a sign. Some more signs are poor sleep, energy crashes. You might kind of feel up because you had something sugary. Now your energy went up, but then because it's a sugary byproduct, right? It's going to cause a crash. And then what that actually does too, where that leads to the blood sugar instability, is that when you're eating sugar, your blood sugar is going to spike. Now the pancreas has to release insulin to try to bring that back down, and that's the crash. And so a lot of times what happens with diabetics is this constant assault on the pancreas. I always joke about this with my husband. I say, I just assaulted my pancreas when I eat something sugary. He always laughs at me because it's like, I know I did. I assaulted my pancreas, my poor pancreas, because it had to release some more insulin. And when you do that over time, though, of course, it's okay to do it once in a while, but over time, and the way that most Americans eat is that you are eating sugar throughout the day. And that's a constant assault on the pancreas. So the pancreas is working very hard to try to keep those blood sugar levels down, right? And so it's constantly releasing and then it comes down. It has to release again and then it comes down. And then the pancreas actually gets worn out. And that is what causes type 2 diabetes.
Mm.
So we don't want to activate that pancreas any more than we need to. So why regulation comes first? So the body must feel safe before it shifts into repair and balance. So again, this is where we need to shift into that parasympathetic nervous system so that the body can repair. When you are in repair mode, you can digest your food properly. You feel calm. You're going to sleep better. Your hormones are going to be balanced. If you're trying to lose weight, the weight is going to come off a lot more easier. You're not fighting your own body. So we want to get regulated. Again, when that safety returns, the digestion is going to improve, which is going to repair the body. The inflammation is going to lower, which brings hormonal balance. The metabolism becomes flexible again, leads to weight loss. So what does safety actually feel like in the body? It feels like slower breathing, right? Like when you are in a chronic state of stress, you're breathing pretty fast. All right, because your body is working extra hard. Your heart rate is increased, your respiratory rate is increased because it's got to work that much harder to pump blood and fluids and everything else through your body. Your muscles are going to be more relaxed. You're not going to be as, I like to say, you're not going to be in as much pain as like if you have pain issues, creating safety in your body actually creates less pain because when you are stressed, you are actually tensing your muscles and it's causing increase in pain in your body. Maybe you notice your joints hurt, maybe your back hurts, or your neck hurts, or your shoulders hurt, right? Like when you have created that safety, your muscles are going to relax and it's going to improve any pain. It's also going to really calm the mind. You're going to feel more centered and grounded. You're going to feel like yourself again. You're going to feel like, oh, like I feel so good. And so that is the whole goal, is to create this sense of safety and calm in the body so that the body can work with you. Because if you think about it, like your body is the house that you live in and you want to take care of it, right? You want to be on this earth as long as you can. And it's like you want to respect your body and you want your body to feel at home with you as well. It's like you don't want to be button heads with your own body. So again, this is a lot of the work that I do with, somatics too, is really learning how to tap into the body and how resourceful the body can be once you build that relationship with your body, because you're not two separate people, you work together. And so the body is your greatest ally, your greatest tool. It will tell you when you're able to get to a point where you can really check in with your body and be like, hey, what's going on with me? And then like literally your body will tell you, which is a beautiful thing. And it gets you out of your head for one thing, and it gets you into the body, which is where that connection is with the soul, the self, the heart, and out of the mode of the ego. So all right, so let's talk about the shift. So instead of fighting the body, we create those conditions where the body feels safe. So simple practice. I have talked about this, I don't know, with a handful of people already today. The most simplest tool that you can use to slow the body down is your breath. You have to breathe every day anyway, so you might as well use your breath to your advantage. The breath is the quickest way to shift your body out of activation and into repair. So, the simple practice is to breathe in through the nose, hold it at the top, and then exhale audibly through your mouth. So, you're going to and be exaggerative about it, because what that does is it actually signals the vagus nerve to relax. And so not only are you calming down your nervous system, you're lowering your cortisol level. Your vagus nerve can now send all the nutrients and all the blood and all the fluids to the organs that it needs. So like I said, I love to tell people, you have the most free tool that you could ever use right at your disposal every day. You do it unconsciously, 24/7. Use your breath as your greatest ally. So that's a really simple practice, number one. Now, simple practice number two is really just create moments of pause. Allow yourself to take the breaks. Do the things that bring you joy. Do the things that calm you, whether that's going for a walk, getting in some sunshine, listening to music, taking a bath, calling a friend, whatever that is, create those moments where you can just unplug. Like you think about your cell phone, you have to charge your phone, right? Otherwise, it's going to die. You need to charge yourself too. And so create these moments where you can unplug and recharge yourself. All right. Practice number three is to reconnect with the body through awareness and movement. So, what we want to do is we want to reduce the intensity and we want to create consistency. So, exercise is very good for the body. We know that cardiovascular health is huge. Also, connecting with the body through movement, through other ways that feel good to you. Like maybe you just need to shake it out. Like before I do I don't you maybe you guys don't know this, but I have been on live TV and I've done different types of events where I've been in large groups of people and all eyes are on me. And one of the things that I do is I will sneak into the bathroom before I face everybody and I'll start just shaking it out, or I'll do a bunch of jumping jacks or whatever, just to get the energy moving and to help calm my nerves. I'll also take deep breaths and exhale. Sometimes just tapping your body, the butterfly hug and just tapping your shoulders, rocking. Sometimes that can be really calming and soothing, right? Like, sometimes you might even catch yourself when you're stressed. You might start rocking, and it's like it's your body's innate way of trying to calm you down. I mean, you think about that with babies, right? They love to be rocked. And so just create that awareness of what your body needs. Like if you're feeling really stressed, be like, okay, body, I see you. I know you are really stressed out right now. What can we do to shift this? And if you just close your eyes and you take some breaths and you listen, you might actually get emotional because you're going to hear what your body wants you to hear. It's going to be like, go take a break, go sit down on the couch, or go lay down for a little bit, or go outside and go for a walk. It's really beautiful when you can create that awareness with your body. So, just so you know, your body is not broken. It's just been simply trying to protect you. So if you can change your perspective on, oh, this darn body, it's just always bad, it's working against me. It's not healthy. It's this, and that. And it's like, no, it's just doing its job, Um, you could think of different instances of different professions, right? Like, think about a lawyer or, a cop, and, they're writing you a ticket. And it's like, well, they're just doing their job. It's like your body is just trying to do its job as well. So again, this new approach is really that sustainable change happens when we work with the body and not against it. So, sustainable change happens when the body feels supported, the nervous system is regulated. Again, this is going to lead to more energy, more stable habits, and a body that responds a lot more easily. You're going to feel a lot less resistance. So, if you've been watching me on social media, I like to really say that this work
Mhm.
really does go beyond the weight loss. It isn't just about the body, it's how you relate to yourself, and how you respond to stress and the patterns that you carry into your life and the way that you show up in relationships. It's all connected. And so when your system changes, everything changes. You become less reactive, you have this more awareness, you're able to be more consistent with habits, you can make clearer decisions, you can create stronger boundaries, more grounded relationships, and a deeper sense of self-trust. All wonderful, beautiful things that we want to create in our life, right? We want to be less reactive. We want to be more aware. We don't want to be running on autopilot all the time. We want to be able to be clear in the head and not be, so congested up there because of all the things that are going on in the mind. And the brain is just constantly doing this, right? And so it's going to help you in your relationships. And again, just really building that deeper relationship with yourself. So again, for next steps, for those that really want deeper support, there's ways that we could work together. So just wanted to throw that out to you guys. In the email that I'm going to be sending out tomorrow with the replay, I will have a link on how to book appointments with me or ways to get into contact with me. If you know me personally, you know how to reach me. So feel free to reach out at any time. And for those of you that are watching the replay, just check the information in the email of how to get a hold of me. So I want to open this up for any questions. I feel like I talked really fast, but I had so much to say, and I felt like I could have just talked all night about this kind of stuff. So I have to, I'm like, okay, stop talking. Let's just keep going here. So any questions that came up for you guys?
So I'll go.
Yeah.
So not really any real questions other
Okay.
than again seeing you on social media, and so many things just resonated. And I would
Yeah.
see it and then I'd kind of let it go, and then I'd see something again and it just kept
Yeah.
resonating with me over and over. And then I saw this and I thought, I'm going to sign up for this. And this is so many things are hitting home with gut
Yes.
health. Just again, that busyness, busy mind, busy, just again, so many things just really hit home.
Yeah.
So you've given me a lot of really good things to think about. And yeah, I need to think about next steps.
Thank
So,
you. Yes. And that's,
yeah.
that's when you really know that this work is meant for you, when it keeps kind of calling
Oh,
out to you, right? It's like, oh,
over and
wow, that's
over.
hitting
It's,
home.
it's,
Okay, I can relate to that, right? It's like,
yes. Yeah. Just,
yeah, this work is really
yeah.
beautiful work actually, because it not only can
Yeah.
create change with with your physical health, but it creates change with your spiritual health, your emotional health. Like I said, it really just
Sure.
affects so many areas of your life, which
Yeah.
is,
Yeah.
deeply transformational, which is so good.
Yeah.
Um,
And some are so obvious, where others
right.
I go, oh, yeah. Yeah, my mind's pretty busy, and yeah, again, it's just very interesting because again,
It
it
is.
just keeps hitting home. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm real
Well,
anxious. I'm anxious to see your email and
good. Yeah,
then
that'll
kind of
go
where we go
out
from
right
here.
away tomorrow morning.
Yeah,
And you know how to reach me
I do.
anytime. So
Yes,
I'm really grateful that you were here for this live, so that, it just
yes,
is, it's really
yes,
impactful to do it live as well and be able
yeah,
to answer the questions and, give me some
right.
feedback and things like that. So I really appreciate that.
Yeah,
So
and it almost didn't work, but I it did. So here I am. But
here you
yeah.
are.
Okay. Well,
Wonderful.
thank you very much. Again, so much of
Yes.
just a lot of valuable information here.
Oh, good. Well, thank you,
All right.
Lori. And thank
Yes.
you for everyone watching, and we'll have a good night.
All right. Thank
You.
you.
Take
Bye.
care.
Bye now.
Bye-bye.